This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're coming to you live from the second annual Growth Capital Expo in Las Vegas 2015. I have with me Anthony Marchese of Texas Rare Earth Resources. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is TRER. Welcome, Tony, to SNNLive.
Thank you very much, Shelley. First of all, thank you for hosting me and thank you for inviting us to present.
Well, we're glad to have you. So let's get right into it. Let's get a short overview, if you would, on Texas Rare Earth Resources.
Thank you. Texas Rare Earth Resources is a domestic company with a heavy rare earth deposit about 80 miles southeast of El Paso, Texas, with simply amazing infrastructure.
You know, it's interesting. You don't hear a lot about rare earth element companies in North America to begin with, but I think it's even rarer to hear it as a heavy rare earth element. You know, I know of some light rare earth element companies, but heavy, talk about that for a minute.
Okay, thank you. The heavy rare earth minerals are today 100% produced in China. There are some other projects in North America, but our project is predominantly a heavy rare earth project, again, outside of El Paso, Texas. We could ultimately sell our production many times over to just the defense industry, who has a need for the product.
So, China having 100%, are they exporting or they're using it for their own needs?
Well, China has done a very smart thing. Since they produce 100% of the world's heavy rare earth minerals, they encourage, and I put that in quotes, people to produce in China. So if you don't produce in China, you don't get minerals. They do export some to Japan, some to Malaysia, but for the most part, it's used within China.
Now, why is the rare earth element so strategic to the military-industrial complex of the Western world?
Well, first of all, heavy rare earth minerals are in any new tech application. Apple would be out of business without access to the heavy rare earths. Every iPod, iPad, or anything that we use today in the consumer products area have heavy rare earths. In the case of the military, virtually any project, program developed in the last 5 years uses heavy rare earth raw material.
So you mean to tell me that the United States is actually buying its rare earth elements today from China?
Yes, they are. Actually, there was an excellent 60 Minutes piece on rare earth minerals approximately a month ago, and that's in fact what they highlighted.
So you have an off-take bonanza. I mean, I'm not trying to emphasize your potential growth, but what I'm saying is you're in the right place at the right time, basically.
Yes, we have an amazing array of byproducts in addition to our heavy rare earths. First of all, we just signed an agreement for our uranium byproduct with Areva of France, which is an $8 billion French company, the world leader in nuclear power. We also have a lithium resource, which at full capacity would produce about 9,000 tons a year of lithium carbonate equivalent. So at $7,000 current selling price, you can do the math.
So how large an area of acreage are you covering? I know Texas is a very big state, but in El Paso, you know, how can you describe the acreage?
We have a few hundred acres, and the mountain, if you want to call it that, is only 1,100 feet high. The beauty of our deposit is that we're sitting right next to an operating quarry, so when we estimate our costs, we're not guessing, we're not going to engineers, we're going to our friendly neighbor who is telling us exactly what things will cost.
So you're in production currently, correct?
No, we will be in production once we get fully funded. We'll be in production within, in my opinion, assuming everything goes well with licensing, which, by the way, we are on state property, not federal property, a key consideration. I would estimate within 24 months.
So we're talking about a potential growth curve once you start producing that's, you know, hard to imagine.
Well, our project, which we believe at this point will be under $200 million, has a $1.4 billion net present value, and that's only for the first 20 years of the project, and we have over 100-year mine life.
So when you look at 2015 and 2016, How much of your budget is actually going to be utilized for exploration, and how much is going to be utilized in anticipation of production?
Well, we're finished with our exploration. At this point, our budget is going purely to metallurgy. Investors can expect that within a matter of months, we'll be producing actual samples from our deposit. So we'll actually be going out to potential customers, and you can anticipate continuing to try to monetize our byproducts as well.
So what basis did your contract with this uranium deal, how did they determine what the value of that agreement was going to be?
Well, what we've been able to disclose is that we will be selling them uranium several years down the road at a price which is indexed to the spot prices at the time. I think investors should look at the Areva contract as a validation of our project. $8 billion companies do not sign these types of agreements without doing a fair amount of due diligence.
Now, in all fairness, a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. The uranium prices, exactly. The uranium prices have not only held their own, but they're increasing in a market where the resources of like the golds and the silvers, platinums, have all been decreasing. What's the explanation for that?
Well, first of all, if China continues to produce or rather build the nuclear power plants that they say they're going to be building, prices, in my opinion, will go up. We don't need prices to go up to be happy. At the current market price, this would be approximately $12 million a year to Texas Rare Earth Resource. If it goes up, it's a bonus.
Now, for more information, let's get your website out there right now to investors.
Well, it's www.TRER.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Marchese, Texas Rare Earth Resources, publicly traded symbol is TRER. I'm Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're live at the second annual Growth Capital Expo, Las Vegas 2015. Tony, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Shelley.